Hey folks, it's Steve Knight.
Amy Simpson here.
All right, we've got her, the Hall of Famer. She's with us. We got so much to get to. It is coming at you right now. A brand new episode of The Night Shift. Okay, so when I say to you, Amy, we're welcoming in the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Famer.
Mhm.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I've been doing this a long time locally and not locally, and it's a high achievement for us. It means a lot to us, Blitz Dynette, the band. Um, it's just impressive to us that we can actually be part of that. So,
So this is 19th episode on
okay.
Night Shift. Thank you for making the time.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out. We've had lots of, Hall of Fame award-winning artists. We've had
hmm
nominees, but you are only the second
Ah,
actual Hall of Famer, and you're in good company. It's you and Shay Quinn are the only two already inducted Hall of Famers. So thank you
thank you.
for making the time and for hanging. Lot to get to
Yeah.
do today. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I know I sent you
Oh
a text.
God.
I know I sent you a text that said this, but now I'm going to say it to your face. I consider you a legend,
Oh, thank you.
and not just here, but you've played all over the world.
Yeah, I've been a busy girl.
So we're going to get to a lot of that, but
Sure.
um, okay. I like oftentimes start out at the beginning, and so raised in a military family, right?
Army brat for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did the home base, at least, become Harrisburg/Central Pennsylvania?
My dad retired here, so we were jetting off since the time I was 4, taking like trips to Europe. It was always back and forth to where he was stationed. So I started off in Birch's Garden, ended up going to Kansas, Fort Leavenworth, real famous Army
Sure.
depot. Went from Fort Leavenworth to Holland for several years, and then I went from Holland back to West Point, New York, very famous Army base. Went from West Point to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh, and then back here. This is where my father retired. So,
So when did music become a part? And you're bouncing around the world, literally,
hmm
but when does music become when do you realize this is going to be a big part of my life?
road trips. I was the little kid in the back singing to the 8 tracks that were playing in the car back when there were 8 tracks. So, yeah, that's when I discovered, oh, I actually like to do this. Not that I was going to do it for a living, but I like this. I can relate to this. I can express myself here. I was combattling with 2 brothers that were a lot older than me for attention. Had to do something.
Um, you know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're most known for your voice. And when did you realize, or when did somebody go, hey, there's something special going on here with your singing voice?
Like I said, I have 2 older brothers, and my oldest brother, when we lived at West Point, they were like rock stars. They had their own bands in the basement, skateboarders, just raising hell on West Point. And my brother came downstairs and found me singing, like rooting through his album collection. Was kind of mad at me for doing that because he was like all about making like a trunk with cushioning, putting everything in alphabetical order, had it all over the place, listening to Journey, Boston, you name it. I was just a sponge back then. And he came down and I thought he was going to yell at me, and he went, "Put that on again. Put it back." He goes, you're actually pretty good. You should think about this, you know. So it started with that, and then I was taking piano lessons at the time, which I didn't pursue eventually, but he would bet his friends, and she's never heard that song. Go upstairs and play it for 5 minutes. We'll be up, you know. And I would just lay it down by ear. So my ear is more of my instrument than my voice because I know what I want my voice to sound like. So it's kind of like my ear is my talent.
Formal training at any point in time,
Mm-mm.
or just
No,
just
just all natural.
just started going for it?
Yeah, yeah.
I know that you got involved with your fellow Hall of Famers,
Hmm.
Blitz Dynette, fairly young age, right?
Oh, yeah, I was the youngster.
Yeah.
I was the baby in the group. I started in that group early 20s, you know, and they were all like in their late 30s, 40s. Yeah. But when I was on the road, that was also the case. I went on the road right out of high school, met a bunch of really great musicians through agencies. My first gig was at, I'm trying to think of the name of the place. It wasn't the Hilton. Anyway, it was in St. Louis, right near the Arch. Adams Mark was, it was a 4-star hotel, road band, you know, and they were all a lot older than me too.
Yeah, we're talking
So
like mid to late 80s here.
late 80s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you graduate from high school from?
Cumberland Valley.
Okay, so you did at least graduate.
Oh, yeah.
Planted down some roots here.
Yeah.
Graduated high school here.
Hmm.
So before Blitz, you even got into that. You know, what were you doing high school wise or out of high school?
It started off with wanted to get over my stage fright, right? So when I was 16 in high school, I would go to an open mic night every Wednesday night down in Hummelstown called Toots. Toots.
Yeah.
Strange name, but um, Deuce Gibb would be there, Shay Quinn would be there, maybe Jeffrey Gaines would be there. You know, Mitch Ivanoff was the first person who got me up on stage. Sign the list, I'll get you up. And I thought, oh, you know, I don't know. And he was like, come on, you got it, you know. And I went up there. Next thing you know, did rock and roll, Zeppelin song, and it was history from there. I mean, I
Yeah.
went every Wednesday night. I'd walk out. My parents had Bible study in the living room. This was hilarious. And I'd walk out with like all this makeup on, and my hair was like jet black and rocked out. And people would just be staring at me like, where is she going? It's Wednesday night. Oh, she's going to open mic night. It's down in Hummelstown. Blah, 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 blah. She does this every Wednesday. Oh, she's going to a bar in high school. So, yeah, it was quite the story. But shortly after I graduated, I joined a road band. I had heard that this band was at the Marriott. Triple Exposure was the name of the band. They had a 3-girl front, and it was all like top 40 music, but mostly like Miami Sound Machine,
Okay.
like all the hits, some Prince, some MC Hammer, all of the stuff that was hit back then. I went in there as a rock chick, you know, and the girl was like, just sing this back to me because I know you don't know this tune. I can tell you're a rock chick. And I went, sure. And I sang it back to her, and she went, all right, she's good. Meet you in St. Louis, you know. And the next thing you know, I was on a bus going to St. Louis to do my first gig with this band.
Wow.
And it was every night. We played every night, 4 sets a night.
And you're how old at
I
this
was
point?
17.
Whoa.
Everyone else was a lot older than me. Yeah. So that's where it started, where I was the baby of the groups, you know. That's where it started. I was used to that, you know.
Yeah. Do you remember what song you sang?
It was called Serious. It was like, baby, tell me, are you serious? It was one of those Mary Jane type tunes back in the day with the Prince influence on it.
Sure.
I didn't know it then when I was singing it, you know, and she was like, just sing it back to me, you know, and I was like, sure. And I just sang it back to her. She was like, yep, we'll meet you in St. Louis.
So you're 17,
Mm-hmm.
you're still in high school.
No, I just graduated.
You just graduated.
Just
Okay.
graduated.
So, yeah, like I
It
also,
was like borderline, you know?
so was I. I also graduated high school when I was 17.
Yeah.
And yeah, so most people, they talk about being 17. Yeah, you
They're
were
still in, but yeah,
Do you have a summer birthday?
May 25th.
May 25th. Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Okay. So yeah, you were
Yeah,
right at
right
the cutoff.
there.
Yeah, right there at the cutoff.
Yeah.
So You're just out of high school. You're on the road.
Yep. A couple months later.
Right. What are mom and dad thinking at this point?
Well, I did have a long talk with my father, and he's very Christian and very worried about me being around drinks and people, old adults,
Who wouldn't be with their daughter?
And he was like, yeah, I talked to the manager. You're okay. We trust him, because they had a long talk,
Yeah.
About how I would do taxes and how much I would get paid a week and travel expenses and all of that. So that was dealt with before I went anywhere. So
yeah,
I think the guy was scared of my dad.
Dad had a talk with him.
I think he was very scared of my dad.
And essentially he said,
criminal,
right. Essentially said, this is my daughter. She's 17. Need I say more?
Yep.
Right.
No messing around.
Yeah. But what was that like for you? I mean, it had to be super, super exciting, but it had to be overwhelming.
I was very overwhelmed, and I was very excited because I knew I was on a new chapter. I was going to meet all new people. I was going to be doing all new things. I was going to be on the road doing what I love, singing, getting paid to do it. At 17, that's pretty awesome, you know? The thing I didn't like was I had to take a bus that stopped at every town, every exit. It took me 3 days to get there on a bus, and I had gotten stung on the face by a sweat bee that got between my father and I at the bus station when I left. And when I got there, I'm walking through the hotel. It's this 5-star hotel right on the river there, right near the arch. And the wallpaper's like honeycomb. And I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, am I turning into a bee? I've got this big sting in my face. And yeah, it was interesting how I got there. But once I got there, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Assuming that because of what they had you try out doing, and this band did a lot of that 80s more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pop /
DJs were big. DJs were big back then, and there were plenty of clubs to play in hotels like Marriott's and hotels like that.
Yeah.
Adams Marks, the higher echelon of hotels.
Right.
And we would stay there. We had rooms and everything. We could help ourselves to the kitchen, at odd times of the night or morning or whatever.
So what did 17-year-old Amy or 18-year-old Amy do when the 40-year-old businessman who had 5 scotches came up to you and tried to talk to you? I mean, you had to learn pretty early on. Your mom and dad aren't there, your brothers aren't there, and you're out there on the road in the business.
Yeah.
How'd you deal with all that?
Well, I remember, on a regular basis, because I was in that club, any club, for like every evening of every week. We only had one day where we had off, which was Sunday, and our agent would have us driving somewhere else if we weren't staying somewhere. That wasn't really difficult, because at my age, I wasn't interested in hooking up with anybody that was 40 years old anyway.
Right.
So it's kind of like, okay, Dad,
beat it.
Leave me alone. I'm getting a Coke.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Coke here at the fountain. Give me a break,
Yeah.
Now, all the bartenders knew I was underage, so none of them gave me any drinks. So, and I'm not a drinker, so it's kind of like that never really bothered me at all,
Yeah. It was never a thing for you.
No.
You hear all these, we're talking about the 80s here, and you hear all these terrible stories about, and there you were at this young age out there on your own on the road. Glad to hear that you were able to get through it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a boyfriend in the band real early on.
Oh, that helped.
He was the musical director, so he was the keyboard player. So I was okay,
Yeah.
And he was a lot older than me.
Yeah.
So he kind of like took care of things anyway. But when I was in that group, I wanted to tell you, all the wrestlers came in, these famous wrestlers like Rick Ream, Lex Luger. And I do recall being at the soda fountain and turning around, and there was Lex Luger talking to me. Yeah. And some little guy was representing him to me. Hey, he's like, Lex Luger wants to know if you want a drink, And I'm like, can Lex Luger talk to me? Or do you need to talk for him, Just funny stuff happened on the road.
Sure. Yeah. Those that don't know, Lex Luger at that point in time was about as big as it gets in the world of professional wrestling. Literally and figuratively.
Yep, absolutely.
Massive human being, but as most professional wrestlers are. But also it was the 80s, and famously now, a lot of Lex Luger's size. And it's a good thing that you had a good head on your shoulders, because Lex was into a lot of things, steroids being one, some other things as well. It's all pretty well documented now. So shifting gears here. So how do you go from that to not that much long afterwards winding up in Blitz Dynette?
After a while, you get tired of living in a suitcase and traveling and playing every night.
You wanted to come home.
Yeah, I wanted some kind of formal, normal life, you know.
Yeah.
And at an early age, I realized that, thank God, you know. I always say I got it out of my system early. You know what I mean? I was never one that had the kids and the marriage, and I don't have any of that. So my marriage has been to music basically all this time. But yeah, I mean, it's slowed down a bit. The pace slowed down, which I needed, you know, and I got to be around my family, my parents. And, you know, the local scene, Blitz came knocking. It was like I was off the road for 2 weeks with my boyfriend, and Blitz called. And I was like, who's Blitz Dynette? At the time, they had representation. And this gentleman called me, and he was like, Blitz Dynette, they're going to be playing downtown. Come check them out. They're looking for a vocalist. And I was like, oh, okay. And I told my boyfriend, and he was like, well, let's go check it out, you know, because we didn't know if we were going to stay or go back on the road through an agent. We weren't sure yet. So we went down, and where the G-Man is downtown, I forget what street, that Main Street or...
Second, I believe.
Yeah, it's one of those streets. They were playing there.
Yeah.
Okay. The old G-Man.
Yes.
It's near the Whitaker. It's on that street.
Yeah. Walnut. Third.
Yeah, I'm not sure which. Market Street. I think it's off Market Street. Let's go through all the streets in Harrisburg and figure out which street it was. Anyway, they were down there, and we were like knocked out by Forrest's playing and Gary's drumming, and everybody that was on stage. Didn't have the horns then, but it was a nice 5-piece, you know. They had their singer still, Stephanie. And we sat and we did a song called Get Here by Alita Adams, and it did not fit at all what they were doing. But it was one that we did together, you know, so at least they could hear me. And met my friend Dan Kibler there that night, too, who I play in a duo with right now.
Yeah, I would say to this day.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
You met him that night?
Yeah,
wow.
That night.
Yeah.
Long hair.
Yeah.
He was in a band called El Kabong, you know. I met a lot of people that night, but Blitz Dynette, we were just like blown away by them. You know, and most of their songs were original songs. So that's very impressive, you know.
Did what they were doing musically was somewhat in the wheelhouse of what you had been doing previously when you were on the road?
Like R&B, yeah.
And did that appeal to you?
Absolutely. I mean, I could relate to it, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, now I can hear it in an original format. It's really appealing, you know, when someone writes their own music and it's got that soul to it, you know, and I thought I could probably do that, you know. I pictured myself doing it, so.
That's interesting because, you know, I don't want to put you in any kind of category, I think, because you've done a lot of things, but you know, me from the outside looking at AMY Simpson, I would most associate you with R&B. Is that fair?
Yeah, soul R&B.
Right, soul R&B.
Definitely soul music, for sure.
Right.
I do jazz as well. I've done a lot of jazz too. So.
But it's kind of interesting to me how that wasn't necessary. In other words, when you were 16 years old, you weren't going, I want to be a soul singer.
No.
Right.
I just wanted to sing, you know. I knew I had to get over stage fright. At that age, I was in a concert choir in Cumberland Valley. You know, I competed in concert choir there throughout high school. I didn't do the sports or any of that. It was all choir based. I've always sang in choirs in church and love harmony, love to harmonize, you know. That's where I realized, you know, this is home. You know, this is where I express myself. This is home. I don't have to be the feature. I've never felt I had to be the feature ever.
Not in a band like Blitz because everybody's just so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a 3-girl front for a long time, and I was fine with that because I didn't need to be the focal point. A lot of pressure with that.
Mhm.
But when I joined Blitz, it was Forrest and I, you know. I did most of the leads, but Forrest sings too, Gary sang a little bit. Um, in Groove Rebels now, a band I play with. I do most of the leads, but the guys want to sing, so we're kind of chopping it up and getting a little more of that going on, which is nice. Gives me a break, and I like to harmonize, so
And Blitz added the horns, if memory serves, I want to say mid-90s.
Yeah, early 90s,
Early
92,
90s. Okay.
92 and on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time I ever saw Blitz Dynette and
Yeah.
I am such a sucker for. Well, part of it is I didn't turn 21 until 1991, so that was part of the reason why. But I'm, I'll throw out, the go. I mean, the first Chicago record is like one of my favorite records of all time. I love a horn section. I just love a horn section. And that was first time I went and saw Blitz Dynette. I really didn't know what to expect. And to be quite honest with you, in my early 20s, I mean, at that point in time, I was Metallica. I was, Kiss is my favorite band of all time. And I remember seeing you guys and being like, oh, I love this. Love it. I believe you had 3 horns at that time.
There's a story with that.
Tell it.
Started off with 5-piece.
Okay.
And then we started playing Paradise Alley. Do you remember that place?
Yeah, Mechanicsburg?
Harrisburg, actually, near the
okay.
Harris, where what used to be the Harrisburg East Mall.
Gotcha.
Right there near the.
I knew it was a burg. It was just Harris instead of Mechanics. But anyway, yeah. I do remember it. Yeah. It's been a lot of years, Amy. We're talking over 30 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
So we started playing Paradise Alley and these guys rolled in, and I'm like, who are these guys? They were standing off to the left and they came up to Forrest and said, hey, we figured out some horn parts to your tunes. Can we sit in? Which is so impressive.
That's so cool.
Who does that, right? So yeah, they sat in, and I mean, the horn arrangements were phenomenal, and from then on, the horns were in the band.
Yeah.
Just
made the band better.
Yeah.
Filled it out.
Absolutely. Totally filled it out.
If we go from 5 to 8, and there's a financial ramification there, that's okay because
sounded great.
Makes the band better.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Added so much to the sound, and it was just the icing we needed and the layers we needed,
And I know you guys gigged all over the place.
Oh yeah. We took trips to Maine. We took trips to a lot of different colleges. We went up to Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. We played the Wolf Den up there, really cool venue. We played New York City, Bleecker Street, some of the city clubs. We played a lot of different clubs. I mean, a lot of different places. I mean, so many I can't even think of them right now.
Right.
But yeah, State College, we tried that. I mean, we did a lot of different venues.
At its peak, how many shows a year do you think you were doing with Blitz?
With Blitz?
Yeah.
We were gigging pretty much twice a week or every other week. So that kind of gives you an idea without a number.
Yeah. 100, something like that. Twice a week. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of.
And
were you weekend warriors for the most part?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But we were figuring, that's when we found out about in-ear monitors, because it also, as much as it added to the sound, it made it louder. So I had to really figure out how I was going to compete with that volume.
That was something never would have even
I learned.
About that.
Yeah. I didn't think of it either right off the bat. But I mean, you figure it out and things happen,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have changed it though. I mean,
right. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say,
I wouldn't have changed that at all. I mean,
right. The voice. What is it? Do you have to still continue to maintain to sing the way that you do and doing the gigs that you do? what I don't sometimes I've talked to singers that go that they're just blessed and they just say, I do a little brief warm up and I'm good. And I talk to others that say, I have to make sure before a gig I've got proper sleep. And I mean, like this far short of being in a hyperbaric chamber
So it's
before
the preparation, you
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, so the voice, like what do you have to go through to make sure you're on point when you do get up there?
I'm very, very lucky because when I was on the road and traveling, I developed nodules on my vocal cords with the road band, and I had to get off the road for quite a while. In the interim, this was way before I met Blitz, but I didn't know that there was a specific way you had to sing if you were singing every night. So I was just wailing every night until I couldn't wail anymore. And then I had to get off the road. And I started going to ear, nose, and throat doctors, and realized, oh, I've got to take care of this. Oh, it's because it's not a piece of equipment you walk in and set up. You're carrying it all the time. And you need sleep, you need proper hydration, you need to breathe right when you're singing. I mean, I learned all these things very early on once I couldn't do anything with my voice. So I took 2 years off, got a day job where I didn't have to speak.
Wow.
And I didn't even whisper for 2 years. Most people I know now would be like, yes, she couldn't talk. She couldn't, yes. Can you imagine that? But now,
the golden age of AMY Simpson, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yeah.
but now,
right.
Derek Houston from the green room used to always laugh because I would go in there and record, and he'd be like, "Oh, what do you need to do to warm up?" I'm like, "Cigarette, coffee," because I used to be a heavy smoker. And then I quit like 9 years ago. Decided that's not working for me.
Yeah, and probably on a number of levels, but yeah.
I'm like, that's just not working for me. And I had lost a lot of my range, so I was like, that's it. So now I don't really do anything except try to get enough sleep. I try to drink a lot of water. Sometimes if I have an outside gig, I'll do a lot of electrolytes kind of thing, because I can't eat a lot of food before a gig. Most people can't. And then there's other people that have pasta meals before they go play a gig, So it just depends on the person. But right now, not a lot of preparation, but I do some things depending on weather and things like that.
Yeah, you've been pretty giving too. I know you've done just a ton of not only your own stuff, but a lot of studio work. And I don't think people realize, especially here in Central PA, how many recordings you're on.
Yeah, I'm on a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
And Michael Giblin is one that has involved me in a lot of different variety of people just doing backgrounds for him.
Yeah.
The green room.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on that very, very short list when I get around and I talk to artists, and especially ones that are going into the studio. It's like, can we get AMY Simpson?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and I'm like,
too.
Sure.
Yeah. Right.
I rarely turn anything down, know.
Right.
Yeah.
And Groove Rebels, a current project that's you still got going on.
Yeah, it's been in the makes for a couple of years now.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, describe what are the Groove Rebels?
Well, we are a rock soul band. We throw in some vintage flair, little English pop.
Yeah.
We try to create some originals and also cover like Small Faces, Humble Pie, Tina and Ike Turner, the gritty stuff, with soul and pop and punch.
Yeah. Where's your heart at? What does AMY Simpson listen to?
I'm constantly learning new artists, and I'm always on the lookout for new artists and stuff. I have like Apple Tunes, so I'm constantly downloading all kinds of music. I love it all. I don't have a specific style that I generate to. I'm just what I am, but I love all the influences, all different variety, from rock to Americana to folk to you name it. Anything that moves me, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I like that because I'm the same way. And And I've found that as I get older, my horizons, for lack of a better term, just continue to really, really broaden.
Oh my
And I
gosh,
find
yes.
myself knocking down new doors. I know that you're Logan Bedard quite well,
Mm-hmm.
and he was
I love Logan, by the way.
he's the greatest kid ever. I got to stop calling him a kid. I
He's
get it.
so not a kid now.
I know I can get away with it. He's the same age as my son, so I've got to start calling. I just got to start saying he's the greatest guy ever. But to me and you, he's a kid. But he's such a great young man, and we got on to, I didn't. One of the things I love about Logan, so he's sitting here, he's 23 years old, and he and I are having this conversation about music, and he was my last guest during the night shift, and we go down the rabbit hole together of Miles Davis. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling him that here I sit at 55 years old, and to be quite honest with you, Logan, I didn't really listen to Miles Davis until about 3 years ago. And
That's
now,
normal.
yeah,
That's
and then
normal.
and then I went I spent 2 months where all I did was listen to Miles Davis records, and I loved it because it was like, this is something new for me, So
Well, that's the pleasure of finding new artists and music. You discover them, and then they become part of you.
mhm.
Like a lot of musicians, it's not uncommon to be turned on to something later. You know, that's how all of my music came about. I lived in Saudi Arabia. There was no music there. Okay,
Right, yeah.
I didn't even get to see Star Wars
Mhm.
until like much later in life. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's musicians. What they do is they're turned on to certain musics, to certain artists and things like that, and then they find where they are familiar with the song or the lyric or and they become it.
Mhm.
Like I've borrowed many things from Etta James. I've borrowed many things from Shirley Horn. You know, it just depends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To this day, will you hear something, or you hear a vocal, or will you see something, or maybe see a performance and go, "Ooh,
Oh yeah.
there's a kernel there that I can put in
Absolutely.
my repertoire."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that or I just really respect it. You know what I mean? Like, if you've got a talent, you're going to get all my respect. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a competition or anything. I totally dig what you did. I give you props and,
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Supportive, but yes, there are some artists where I'm like, I could have done that. Maybe I should have been like, I could probably throw that in somewhere.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Or you just change it
Yeah.
and make it yours,
Yeah. So as somebody that's, been doing this, how has, as you see it, and obviously we talk about all genres and spectrums of the music industry and business here, but as it pertains specifically to local central PA, how how have things changed over the last 30-35 years?
in this area.
Yeah, with the business side of things. What are things like? How's it changed?
The venues are different. Like, I mean, there's some really good venues popping up, like Justin Hershey just created that Capital City.
Yeah, right
Um,
downtown in
yeah,
Harrisburg. Yeah.
I mean,
What used to be, it was the Vault, right? Dragonfly, the Vault way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He built XL as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
Which is fabulous.
he's such a unique individual. I really have love for Justin. I mean,
Mhm.
but people like him are very necessary. People like Brandon Valentine are very necessary. John Harris,
Like
people
you, and
making
I
things
hate to be
happen,
that guy, but I go back 35 years with John. I'm sure
Yeah.
as you do as well. Yeah.
I've known him a
Yeah.
very long
Yeah.
time, but I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
I've never really done business with John, but he's a delightful guy.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's always been involved in Millennia, or is it Millennium Conference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I kind of found out about him because I was working with Vicky Walls
Right. Sure.
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So venue wise, obviously, thankfully, there's new
Yeah.
venues and things opening up. But what about opportunities and
Well, it feels like locally, it's become more cliquey because um, everyone's kind of jockeying for these gigs. You know what I mean? And that's really
only so many to
difficult.
go around.
Right, exactly. And like I'm not playing every night. I don't want to play every night at my age. But there are people I know that are trying to play you know what I mean, or would like to play more. And I think venue wise, there's only certain few venues to deal with, for people who are regularly playing, you know. Lancaster has some really nice spots, you know. York has a couple nice ones. Um, but it's gotten smaller, I think.
Yeah.
I really think it's gotten smaller since
I would have to
when I was
agree.
younger.
Yeah. If only from the standpoint of, 35 years ago, um, 35 years ago, places like the Metron, there may have been one night a week where they had a DJ. Shout out to like a Ray Rossi.
Ray
But
Rossi.
there were bands 6 nights a week.
Yeah. Blitz played there, by the way. We opened for Tower of Power there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have.
Speaking
They
of
did
horns,
not.
yeah,
They did not want us to use our horns,
really.
so we could not
I'm gonna
use
use
our
a bad
horn players.
Amy,
for
I'm
that one.
gonna use a bad word here. Sorry. That's a dick move.
It's a total dick move.
It's a total
But I'll
dick
tell you what,
move.
it was Tower of Power that was like, no, we don't want you using your horns.
It was them.
It was them,
Yeah,
their
yeah,
management.
Yeah.
And our horn players were really cool about it. They came to the gig and watched,
Yeah. I hate those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens out there. It happens out.
Yeah.
Hey, Tower of Power. You were playing the Metron in Harrisburg. Get over yourselves. Ugh. At any rate, guess they won't be coming on the podcast. It's all right. I don't want you anyway. Not after I heard that story. But yeah. Well, there was a lot more. There was more meat on the bone, I think, for bands. It was,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I'm obviously not 25 anymore. I don't know if there's even a market out there right now for there to be band nights 6 nights a week.
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either.
Now there are plenty of open mic nights.
Yes.
But I don't think there's a real market for like playing all the time.
And I have this conversation with musicians, and they say, I wish it would go back to, there'd be 2 bands on Tuesday nights at such and such place, and I often always say, I agree with you. However, the folks that either are the booking agents or own these venues, they're in it to make money.
Yeah.
And if they thought they could make money doing that, they'd be doing it.
Right.
I don't think there's a market for it.
No.
I wish I could be proven wrong. Maybe someday I will. But, I think that's changed. The other thing I want to talk to you about was, because this is something that I try to talk to bands about, because just doing what I do, this is a thing that is massive in my industry. It's the social media side of things. And where do you fall on that and its importance in promoting your brand or your band? Where do you see that?
It's very important. But like I said, I'm not playing a lot.
Right.
So I'm not really promoting a whole lot.
Just saying in general.
In
not
general,
necessarily
I use my Facebook.
Yeah. But for bands that are
if I
out
was
there,
playing more, I would definitely do a whole lot more. For bands that are out there, I think it's very important to have a presence on social media. Absolutely. It's like the thing now.
Yeah.
People, I hate to say it, people sit around and they look at their phones a lot. That's what they do. I watch people do it now. It's like anywhere I'm at, it's feed me, and
even when they're out to see shows, they're in their phone.
They're doing that. Yeah, exactly.
And I can be guilty of it too, because if I'm normally doing that,
other people are. Yeah.
Well, no, it's because I just shot a video of the band and I want to try to get the word out that come on out to.
Yeah.
This band's killing it at XL Live. So sometimes I feel bad because people will be like,
"He's on his
look
phone.
at that guy. He's in his phone." Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people taking video and
yeah.
taking pictures and
Yeah.
putting it on there right away.
Yeah. And
A lot of people.
I try to do that and then tag the band and tag the venue.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
always
know,
good.
yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's very cool. I
But
appreciate that.
Yeah. But then I sometimes I feel like, I'm that guy.
I look like I was on my phone.
Yes. Yeah. And
That's
meanwhile, you know, here's Amy Simpson and she's up singing with Van Wersing doing Ain't Talking About Love.
And I loved that video you got. That was awesome.
Well, that was my note, but as soon as I shot it, my nose was buried in my phone. So there are times when I think, oh gosh, you know, Amy Simpson's going to look out from the stage. Not that you would, but I am tall, and
You can see anybody on that stage. They had so much
lights
and stuff glaring into your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't worry. No one saw you on
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like,
there.
It's kind of like, oh, people are like, oh my gosh, you know, here he is. He's on his phone. What a jerk. But the social media aspect of it for me, I think, you know, has, you know, changed things, you know, quite a bit. And I was just kind of interested to get your perspective on that, being that, you know, you were, as was I, well immersed in the scene long before these evil things.
These things that take our attention away.
Yeah, right.
Fill our heads with thoughts.
But anymore, and you know, I talk to man, and they, oh well, and I try to say to them, you might not want to embrace it, and you might not, but I'm telling you, you gotta go deep on the social media. You just do.
You do. I mean, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
You know, people don't only use websites anymore.
Right.
You know, it used to be get a website, you know. Now it's a whole lot more involved.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're still doing a duo thing, and I just saw that you were, I believe, at Englewood, with Dan Kibler.
We did something outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a friendship that goes back a long ways.
But you know, I gotta tell, that friendship is like lifelong. You know, Dan's good people, Dan's family to me.
Yeah.
You know, I love Dan Kibler.
Yeah.
And he's so talented and he has so many albums. And he's such a good songwriter, you know, and such a good guitarist. You know, he's really, I mean, he's involved in a lot of other projects too, because he's so good, you know. I can't say enough about Dan. You know, he and I connected very early on when that tryout I had with Blitz Dynette, and right away he was like, "Hey, come on over. Let's. I'm going to be putting this song out. I want your backing vocals on it, or your thoughts on this or that. We'll trade off here and there." I mean, he always had faith in me, and he always believed in my talent. So he was always very genuine. He's a genuine contact, you know. And then there's Groove Rebels, where it's Mike Giblin. I did a solo project.
Bass, correct?
Bass player, right. Vocalist.
Yeah.
Sometimes he plays guitar too. But he's got his own band, Split Squad, and they're coming out with a new album in January, I believe, in the new year. Was playing with Clem Burke from Blondie's band.
Unfortunately passed away this year.
He passed away. So it kind of changed a little bit, but
massive Clem Burke fan.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay.
Mike was very affected by that. He's very close with him. But anyway, he's the bass player. Did my solo project in 2017. He produced it, which is that album I gave you somewhere. There it is. That was at Red Chuck Studios. Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Giblin.
Ooh.
Produced that. You know who did those shots?
No.
Sean Zimmers did those shots. Do you know Sean?
Very well.
Amazing
Sean's from New Cumberland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are neighbors.
Yes. No. So real quick.
I'm just joking.
No, I know Sean really well. Sean, those who don't know, has been a photog with the Harrisburg Patriot, now Penn Live, for a long, long time. And in 2020, when the world came to a screeching halt, I was sent home with a laptop and a couple of studio lights. And within about 48 hours, I was doing weather from my living room on TV. And Sean reached out to me because at that point in time, all the media was scrambling to cover all aspects of life, whether it be music or, you know. how is the world dealing with this? I mean, I'm talking this is March, right when it happened.
Wow.
And yeah, so
Wow.
Sean was the first person to come into my home when COVID hit. That wasn't a family member. Remember, that was right when it first happened. Like nobody was going
No, I remember.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came
Things
in.
stopped.
He had a mask, and he took some pictures of me doing weather, and I was doing it on. They were shooting it on. I had an iPad that was on a tripod. It was very bare bones, because we had to adapt that quickly.
Yeah.
And so he took a picture of me doing the weather from behind the tripod with the iPad on the tripod. And it wound up, and it was part of the article on Penn Live about, okay. And he also talked to Dennis Owens from ABC 27 and a couple of different people in the news business. But he came to me first because he knew I only lived like 2 blocks away. But what was interesting about that was, so that picture, you don't think about it, that picture winds up on Penn Live. Okay, cool, that's nice, that's neat. Of course, I shared it on my social media. About 6 months later, I get a phone call from Apple, and Steve Jobs is getting ready to roll out, have the big annual Apple press conference where they talk about the new iPhone and the new Apple Watch and the new whatever. That's always this big deal that investors hang on every word, where he's going to roll out the new products. And they say, would it be okay if we used your picture?
Oh, nice.
Of how we're going to do a thing about how the world adapted to COVID and used Apple products.
Nice.
And before I could even say yes, they said, and of course, for using your likeness, there'll be a residual check. I went, residual check? Like,
okay.
Of course. Like I was about to tell you you can use it. You can make a billboard out of it. I don't care.
Right.
You're actually gonna. Now it wasn't like big money, but still, it was like you're not gonna pay me.
Very cool.
That's my Sean story. Is that he came out right when COVID hit.
Nice.
Took a picture of me in my living room doing weather, and it wound up being part of Steve Jobs' Apple presentation in 2021. So
I believe it.
So
he's like top notch.
Oh, he's the best. Yeah, and whatever he shoots, whether it's sports or anywhere he goes, just even landscapes. But yeah, great guy.
I got to tell you, he had already done that photo shoot for me.
Yeah.
There was a time where these spoonbill birds came to Harrisburg and Camp Hill. Or no, I think it was Lancaster and Camp Hill. The one landed in my yard, and I called him, and I'm like, well, actually, he reached out to me. He was like, "Are you the one? Is that picture from your backyard?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'm sending someone over now, so they could put it in the Patriot." It was so funny because like 2 of them had landed.
Yeah.
One here and one in Lancaster. It's really weird.
Yeah. Everybody, when you're on, and I know so many people are on Penn Live, just take notice. If you look at the pictures in the local pictures, if you take a moment to just look at who shot the picture at the bottom of it, you will see the name Sean Simmers over and over and over again. Yeah, he's incredibly talented photographer.
He totally is.
So you got a gig coming up here, a holiday gig, in just a matter of days. And I believe we're talking Valencia Ballroom?
Yeah, Valencia Ballroom.
Okay.
York.
Yeah. So tell me about it.
Let me look at my notes here.
That's okay.
I want to make sure I get the names right.
Yeah.
Katie Robinette, the vocalist, is putting this together with her band at the Valencia. Robin Banks Entertainment, that's her entertainment company, is sponsoring it. And it's with all of the players that work for her agency, plus special guests. And I'm one of the special guests. I'm going to do 2 tunes.
Cool.
So I'm excited. And Todd Berdard's going to do all the narrating.
Yeah.
In a top hat and tux, I think. And
we keep saying it, but another top-notch guy. I was just messaging back and forth with Todd this morning. So shout out to Todd, great guy. But another friend of ours, I know I'm tripping over the names I'm dropping. Sorry, Amy, but I gotta shout him out because he was just on a recent episode here on the Night Shift. Our dear friend Mike Washkovich is part of that show as well.
Mike's going to be in it too. Yeah. He and I end up in a lot of shows together. We do another thing with a band called Stereo Glow. It's Mark Burke, who's the guitar player for Groove Rebels. He and Jess, they both actually have a duo, and they hired Mike and I to like do some of the gigs with them. So yeah. It's So we always end up in projects together.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I know that there's an event page, and it's Saturday, correct?
It is the 19th
19th.
of December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Tickets are available.
right. And I know there's an event page for it.
Yes.
So just
and it's
look
on my
for that.
Facebook and other people's Facebooks.
And I will be sharing it along with
thanks.
as we roll out this episode here, leading up to that show. Where are you at right now as we sit here in almost 2026 now? What do you want to be doing / are you doing pretty much what you want to do?
Well, 2 years ago, I started writing for Harrisburg Magazine. I'm doing the After the Beat column. Kind of fell in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was offered to me by the old editor, the first editor. I have no background in writing, so except songs, you know, and I don't do that a whole lot. I mean, I don't have a writing bachelor's degree or anything like that. Fell in my lap, and I just said to myself, I'm not going to stand in my way. I'm going to do this. I know many people in this scene. I can do this, you know. And here I am 2 years later, you know, with a column every month, you know. Created this December column has Unsung Hero. There's a column that the editor and I created called Unsung Hero. Eric Ebling is his name, my editor of the magazine. And this Unsung Heroes is featuring musicians who have businesses that support the local scene as well.
Right.
So it's not just about bands and venues, it's about people, because being a local musician, you have to work and play. So a lot of these people, you know, either have a business to support the scene or they're playing and working. So it's you know, very important to like feature everybody doing that as well.
Sure. It's great. I mean, in a way, what we're trying to do here and what you're doing with Harrisburg Magazine, we're kind of
doing the same thing.
Kind of doing the same thing. Yeah, kind of trying to you know, it's a
shed some light, you know.
I always tell people, and this is the term I always give it. I always say, people, "Oh, you're doing," and I say, "It's a passion project." I mean, it's something that we're doing here, you know, with my friends at Moving Audio Imagery, and really, it's just to help promote the industry. And man, I know you're the same way, but I love live music so much. I live here. 95% of the time, I'm not going to go to Philadelphia or Baltimore to see a show. And I just want this area to thrive as much as possible.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and whether it's tribute bands, covers, or originals, we love you all. But, you know, people don't, and the competition
it's such a big community.
Yeah,
it really is.
But the competition for the entertainment dollar, and I get it. I talk to people all the time that they'll, you know, I was going to go to that show, but the brand new season of Stranger Things dropped, and I'm binge watching it
binging
tonight.
that.
And I get it, but there's such competition out there for the entertainment dollar, or so many different ways we can go to be entertained.
Yeah,
that I'm passionate about. Not seeing this scene thrive, but seeing people come through those doors and support musicians.
Support live music.
You have to. And it's always, Amy's column is always at the very back of Harrisburg
back of the magazine.
Back of the magazine, so it's really easy to find.
Every month there's one.
Yeah. So, yeah, very, very, very cool. All right, so gonna hit you with what we call the final four.
Okay.
Final four questions.
All right.
That we're gonna
get my paperwork together here. Go ahead.
You act as if a little birdie tipped you off as to what the final four questions could possibly be. So let's pretend, and you can.
Let's stop.
Yeah.
And just go back and do that.
No. We're going live.
No.
We're going live. So we'll act like the spontaneity has just thrown you off here. No, it's So, to be honest with you, I've discovered that it does work a little bit better if I sometimes leak the questions to the guests.
So you're the little bird.
Yeah, I'm the little birdie. Guilty as charged. Okay, it's tough, but your one artist or band that is your personal favorite of all time?
I have two. Can I give you two?
You're breaking the rules, Amy. You're breaking the rules.
There's
You
always
know
a
what?
first.
Okay. There are rules, and then there's rules for a Hall of Famer.
All right.
The Hall of Famer gets to give two. It's a good thing that you're in the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame.
Right
Otherwise,
on.
I'd say no. So,
Hey, don't
please.
forget, I got best vocalist for Central Pennsylvania too.
Absolutely.
So I'm breaking this rule here.
You're breaking the rule. Actually, in that case, you can give me three.
Well, the first one is Shirley Horn.
Okay.
She's a very well.
Mm-hmm.
She is a very well-known jazz pianist. And the thing I loved about her and was drawn to her about was the fact that most musicians would freak out if there was like all that quiet going on the stage. She just would embrace it and taught me a lot about just taking my time with something and really feeling it and not feeling I have to fill up the spaces. You know, like a lot of musicians overplay in certain areas of songs because they think, oh, it's quiet here.
Yeah.
I better play something. No, just, let it work with the quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So she taught me that. And I love her voice. And she's an alto. And she's played with like Miles Davis,
Mm-hmm.
Dizzy Gillespie, Ron Carter, Carmen McRae, Wynton Marsalis. So
Yeah.
she's one of the greats.
A bunch of nobodies in the jazz world. Good Lord.
And she played with gloves. Now she played with gloves because she had a condition, but
Right.
try playing with gloves.
Yeah. I can't play with bare hands, so yeah.
She's passed, but I was always impressed by her music, and I listened to it, with a good bourbon, that kind of thing. My second one is Tina Turner. I mean, she's just the life story about her, and the fact that she just believed in her craft so much that she created herself in the end. I mean, she was already created, but she made her statement, and with obstacles, and I totally respect her.
Yeah. Not that the movie is bad, because it's not, but I would encourage anybody, I would say Tina was still alive. I want to say it's probably 3 or 4 years old, but the HBO documentary on Tina Turner is fan-freaking-tastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best music documentaries I have ever watched. And the movie does a good job, I think, of telling her story, but the documentary in her words, with all of the footage they dug up, is just fabulous. I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's funny, I just saw in my social media feed a couple of days ago, 99% sure it was Rolling Stone. And it was either the death anniversary or the birthday. They put up a post and a picture that said, celebrating the life and music of Ike Turner. And, and it was either he would have been, whatever, 84 today, or, 14 years ago he passed away. And my initial reaction was, who is the tone deaf that wants to celebrate Ike Turner?
No one cares about Ike Turner.
So then I clicked on the comments, and it was like 95% people going, what?
Yeah.
Who put this up?
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah. Who's the intern?
Not really.
Who's the intern who's 22 years old that decided to post, let's all celebrate Ike Turner? Yeah. Because if you know anything about what he,
an abuser. Yeah.
So again,
just ridiculous.
Those that don't know, either watch the movie or better yet, watch the
Tina Turner all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
she earned it.
She did. You can have lunch with one person, dead or alive, and it does not have to be from the music business, or it could be. Who would that person be?
I have two.
Okay, you're allowed. Yeah.
Barbara Walters.
Okay, now
the stories.
Now you're speaking my
like
news business. Sure.
Stories on people.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That would be a great lunch.
Yeah.
Just her filling my ear with like all the real deal stories and things that weren't said, that weren't mentioned, that she knew about people running countries, and yeah,
and a pioneer. We had talked earlier about you being 17 and going out on the road and having all of that. Same thing. She was a young reporter at a time where it was really a man's world, and the
Yeah.
things that she had to deal with, but also the things that she saw and knew about at a
Mhm.
time when there was actually still a code,
Yeah. Yeah, you never strayed from the code.
where now you would immediately put that out there because you'd go viral.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, you got to be, even if you're wrong, just be first. That's yeah. Don't get me down that rabbit hole about the journalism business, but you don't have to be right. You just have to be first. Sadly, that's unfortunately,
God.
But at any rate, that's a good one. And you've got a second.
Lady Diana.
Mm,
She was the angel of the world,
mm,
and she took such hard hits from the royal family, and when I watch, I'm just, there's something that draws me to her. I remember Blitz Dynette was on a gig at Shakey's in Hershey, and my keyboard player at the time, Greg Johnson, who's not alive now, stopped. We were on a break, and it was all over the TVs in this venue, and he was like, "Oh my God, Princess Diana! She was just in a car wreck," and then you heard later, she had passed. I mean, just I would have wanted to have lunch with her just to tell her that she was loved, so loved by people, and would be so missed. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
just her soul was so solid.
I want to say Labor Day weekend of 1997 was that weekend
Yeah.
that she passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her death was so shocking. It's just like, what?
Yeah, and unfortunately,
Car wreck?
to your point, those that don't remember, because obviously when she passed away, people are going to, everybody's going to do and say all the right things, but really the royal family had weaponized their machine against her.
They totally
prior to her
did.
passing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
not going to stand, and
Nope.
she
She
was,
knew what she was up against.
yeah, the machine of the royal family was going to basically smear her, right, to like it was all her fault, the
Yeah,
breakup.
of course.
Right. So
She's up against an army, you know.
yeah,
She knew it.
yeah, she knew it.
She internalized it too,
Yeah.
from what I heard, on herself. But I do believe she found happiness in the end,
Just as she was finding happiness.
Mhm. Yeah.
What's the one song you wish you had written?
Sweetest Taboo by Sade.
Wow, talk about a singer.
Total hit. Total hit song.
Yeah.
It's just one of those songs everybody knows.
Hypnotic almost.
No
Yeah.
matter what they listen to, they know
Yeah.
that song,
Yeah. Is she a favorite of yours?
She is. I really like her smooth, sexy style.
Mhm.
She's mysterious and Nigerian, and I think she's so sexy,
Mhm.
and musically sexy, and her music just totally expresses who she is
Mhm.
so well, and the music is just so, you just picture yourself on the Riviera or somewhere when you're hearing that music. You can't help it. You just feel like this cool thing going on, like you need a cocktail or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You're right. Like
The music's very
an
cool.
ocean breeze and a cocktail.
Yeah.
Something with an umbrella in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say something before we end anything here.
Yeah.
I'm also in a new band called The Few.
I did not know this.
Couple guys in Pentagon.
Oh.
Borman and Joe Mon.
I know Rich retired, unless you dragged him out of retirement.
Not Rich. It's
Okay.
Michael Borman on bass, Joe Mon on
Yeah, okay.
drums, Mark Showers on
Okay.
keys, and Craig Kelly on guitar.
I've done a bunch of events with those guys over the years, so yeah.
And I want to name the guys in Groove Rebels. So we've got Trent Pacheco on organ, we've got Steve Montresor on drums, Mark Burke on guitar, and of course Michael Giblin on bass, and me.
Yeah, and I know, so again, name of the new project?
The Few.
The Few. Okay, got to look for that.
It's brand new.
Okay, yeah, I didn't, yeah.
It's going to be more of a corporate band. It's going to be more of a festival corporate kind of thing. We're not going to be gigging a lot, but when we gig, it'll be on, it'll be fun.
It's good thing you're not busy.
Yeah.
It's good thing you're pulling back
juggling,
Yeah, good thing. It's a good thing you don't want to play every night anymore.
And I'm freelancing with a lot of different groups, so
And doing a ton of studio work still,
Yeah.
at any given time.
yeah,
Um,
got to stay busy.
yeah. And Groove Rebels, I know you have. I know you've got a Facebook page.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
under my name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, if they follow you on Facebook, they can stay up to date with.
Yeah, I post everything that's coming up. I even post like the columns there. I'll post friends who are playing out,
Yeah.
It's basically like just me going, hey, this is coming up, this is going to happen, this just happened, whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's
No official, like
Yeah.
website or anything.
just
I don't
sharing
really
information.
feel like I need that.
You don't. You don't anymore.
No.
You don't anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, the social media side of it. Anymore, really, more people are getting even news.
Mm-hmm.
We have, I'll just say, at the news station, we reach far more people on social media, whether it's Facebook,
bet.
Instagram, than we do on our website.
Oh, I bet.
People don't go and type in www.
Yeah, it's too much work. With
CBS21.
social media, you just go right there, right?
It's right there. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
So, all right. Last question. Beatles or the Stones?
Stones. And I have a Stone story.
I am so outnumbered here because the answer to this question is trending about 80-20 Beatles, and I'm Stones.
I'm Stones.
I'm
all the way.
Stones. Thank you.
Well, I got to tell
yeah.
you, when I do interviews, most of the people, I ask them, who's your biggest influence? And they'll say, oh, the Beatles. Everybody says that. And I get it, because maybe it's true. But I'm totally Stones.
And your story?
Well, when I was in St. Louis, the first gig, Steel Wheels tour. They had a Steel Wheels tour with Living Colour opening. And I think Guns N' Roses, I think they were on the bill.
89.
Yes.
Yep.
They were right across the street from this Adams Market that I was playing in. So, of course, Mick and all the guys came into our bar after they were done playing there, right? And, of course, Valentina, one of the lead people that was going to talk, for the band and stuff, the front woman, she said, oh, my God, I think I see Mick Jagger. And I'm like, don't say that. He's going to leave. And he left. He left with, like, his entourage of people. They left. And one person stayed back, Matt Clifford. He's a famous keyboard player who was on tour with them. And he rolled up to the stage. No one recognized him. And he said, does anyone want to meet the Stones? And I was like, me? So I just threw my stuff down, got in a taxi with him, and went over to where they were staying. We get up the elevator. Some guy's like, shh, Mick's sleeping. And I'm like, Mick is sleeping? Come on, I came over here to meet Mick. So I did meet Bill Wyman. I did meet him. So I hung out in Bill Wyman's room with Matt Clifford, and we talked about the Stones all night.
Wow.
And I tried so hard to get a gig with them. And they were like, no, we've got the girls. We've got the girls. We've got the best girls. I'm like, all right.
You haven't heard me, though. Do you tell them that?
Yeah.
Do you say, let me sing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. They did have some pretty killer English girls singing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they followed where we followed, I don't know, but we went the same path as them. So we were in Kansas City the next time, right after they were there. They had another concert. So, of course, I got tickets. They gave me free tickets. They got me in the back. It was very cool. So there were some pluses with that.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
My thing always is, and I know it's the same with you. It's like, no disrespect to the Beatles. I get it. I'm not one of those people that's like, well, the Beatles are overrated. No, that's not it at all. For me, it's, by the time I was born in 1970, Beatles were pretty much done.
Yeah.
And
I was 69, so
yeah, I had the experience of getting a new Rolling Stones record in the record store and wearing out Tattoo You.
Yeah.
And for me, by that, in my life, the Beatles were something my parents were into.
That's kind of where I was with the Beatles.
And the Stones were like cool and hip, and
they were happening.
Waiting on a Friend, the video, and that song, and in middle school, and I loved the Rolling Stones. So I was a fan. It's not that I don't like the Beatles.
But your memories are with the Stones.
yes,
That's how
yeah.
your memories are with the
Yeah.
Stones.
So I always feel like I have to justify it. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This
So
was
cool.
fun.
A lot of fun. Thanks for making the time. And I know we'll be seeing you out there real soon.
Absolutely.
Real soon. And I'm glad we got this chance to have the conversation. And
Yeah. Have a good holiday.
you as well. Onward,
Year.
onward and upward from here. And thank you for being the second Hall of Famer to
Thank you for
grace the
having
room
me.
here at Moving Audio Imagery. So really appreciate it, Amy. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
And thanks, of course, to you guys, the audience. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of The Night Shift. Good.
Nice. That was so much fun.
Thank you so much, man. That was outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was so cool.